So I want to start off with saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to our brothers in this truth, and those who are preachers and teachers of this truth and this knowledge and understanding. I want to say Shalom. Coming at you guys with a lesson. Basically want to go into the chariots of the Most High, which is the salvation of Israel. So I just want to go into a few scriptures. I won't go to a whole lot of them, but enough to get the point. And you can, after the video, you can actually look at the verses that I are mentioning and going through and read them for yourself. As the Lord say, you got to, seek out your salvation with fear and trembling. So you can go ahead and do that afterwards or even during if you choose to. So the first scripture I'm going to go to right now is 2 Kings 2. 2 so 2 Kings 2, 11 through 12. So let me get that. Here it goes. So it goes, and it came to pass as they still went on and talked that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into the heavens. So, that's talking about the chariots of fire. So you know how they, say so-called UFOs, and well, they're actually IFOs. They're identified because those are the chariots of the Most High. And I know lately it's been in the news and, just strange things in the sky, as they say. I know Russia was trying to shoot down something in the sky and it could not hit it. You can look that up on YouTube as well. But again, it says chariots of fire and of horses of fire. And it parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up. So he went up into a whirlwind from the ground up. So that's telling you that that's a chariot. Those are the vehicles of the Most High. So again, that's 2 Kings 2, 11 through 12. So you can read that. Also, I want to get, let's see. I want to get, let's see. Get this real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, here we go. Is Isaiah 66, 15 through 16. And it reads, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Remember, we just heard about that. To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. So that's tell you what those chariots are capable of, and what they bring forth is fire and a whirlwind, which means they're cloaking themselves as clouds. Okay? So that is the salvation of Israel, and that's the destruction of this place. Because it says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots, So in Isaiah, he's talking about what's to come. This is prophecy, right? So again, that's Isaiah 66, 15. And actually, we read down to 16. For by fire and by his sword, right, will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Now think about that. This hasn't happened yet. So Isaiah is speaking of the future. He's speaking of what's to come in the end times. Again, 66, I'm going to read Isaiah 66, I'm going to read 16. For by fire and by his sword. Why we need a sword? Because he's coming to do destruction on those who are unbelieving. He's coming to pay punishment for the wicked. A sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord. Slain means you're killing somebody. Right? So that's putting people to death. That's serious. Because there's those who will not obey and will not obey. And he is setting forth judgment on them. So that's something that we got to think about, Israel, But yeah, that's that verse. And then let's see. We'll go to another verse here, which is a good one too. Is Jeremiah 4:13. So let me see. 4:13. And okay, so it says Jeremiah 4:13. Behold, he shall come up as clouds. See that? And his chariots shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. See, now here we go again with the clouds. So he cometh with clouds. That's why you can't. There's chariots all around us all the time too, and they cloak themselves, right? You don't know. And sometimes they reveal themselves and sometimes they don't. But those are the vehicles, and they're within the clouds. They hide and cloak themselves, and they can change and shapeshift and all that. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. And yes, we are spoiled, because there's those who don't believe. They continue to believe in all these other things and not in the scriptures. So the Lord is in Jeremiah is basically saying, like, this is what's going on. These chariots are real, and they will come and do destruction as the Lord sees fit to do. So let's see. Let's go to my next scripture here. It's a good one too. This is Habakkuk. And this is 3:8. So let me see. Habakkuk 3:8. And it reads, was the Lord displeased against the rivers? He asks a question. Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? No. That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? See? That's plain right there. That's plain salvation of who? So we know that salvation is for Israel. So that the Lord came for Israel. So those are the salvation, the vehicles of Israel are these chariots. And he's saying, well, was the trees displeased, or was he displeased with the trees and the rivers? No, why? Because when those chariots come, they're going to do destruction. That's destruction on this planet. It won't be destroyed completely, but the things are going to be dissolved in that fervent heat from the nuclear missiles and from the fire from the chariots of the Most High in the last days. And that's what it says here. So again, that's Habakkuk 3:8. If you want to get that. And let's see here. Let's see, I want to go to this Revelation. Okay, yeah, this is Jude 1:14-16. Jude 1:14-16. So it reads, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly. See, among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouths speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. Now see, if that's not so plain to see, and this is now, so we went from Old Testament to New Testament, right? Speaking about the chariots of the Most High. Now we're in Jude. That's Jude now, right? To execute judgment upon all men in the chariots. That's telling you how the Lord's coming back. When he comes back, and he says, I will come back, and I will not meet you as a man. Because the first time he came, he met us as a man, right? He came as a man in the flesh. His return is going to be in the spirit and his glory. And he says, I'm coming with 10,000 of his saints, of his angels, to execute judgment upon all ungodly men for their ungodly deeds. We talked about that in Jeremiah in Habakkuk, in Isaiah. Now we're in Jude, right? These chariots are real. It's so we need to put our faith and trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and not play around with these games as far as these worldly things, and because these scriptures are truth and it's light, and Yahweh Shai is the word, and he does not lie. This book is not a lie. So if you think it's a lie, then you need to rethink your life before it is too late. Because when it's too late, this is what's going to happen. All these verses that I mentioned. And also, since we're Jude, the next one is Revelations, which I'll get because that's a good one. Revelation. So now we're even going further. Now we're in Revelations. So we went from Old Testament to New Testament. Now we're getting to the end, right? So this is Revelations. What we got? 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Now think about this. Behold, again, I'm reading it again. Behold, he cometh with clouds, like he's been coming with clouds all in the Old Testament. Here we go, coming with clouds, which is not a cloud, but it's the chariots within the clouds, and every eye shall see him. Why would every eye shall see him? Because they're going to be so huge, and they're going to be everywhere. And remember I can't remember which one it was, Isaiah or Jeremiah. I think it was Isaiah or Jeremiah when he said, I come with 10, actually no, it's in Jude. Sorry, I come with 10,000. So imagine 10,000 chariots in the sky. Yeah, every eye is going to see him. Yes. And he says, behold, come with 10,000, and every eye shall see him, and even those which pierced him. Now, hold on. Which pierced him? So those who pierced Yahweh Shai, which you known as Jesus, pierced him. They gonna see him? So that part is talking about reincarnation, okay? Because we know he was pierced, and come on. So he was pierced. He was put on the cross. Well, the person who pierced him and those who put him to death, they died. So Revelations is talking about that to come. So what is that talking about? Also, they shall see him. That's because they're reincarnated. They're here today. And when this gets closer and closer to the end times, those spirits are going to come. They're going to be. The Lord will put back in them what they have done in their past, and they're going to see him. And reincarnation is another lesson, but something that I'm going to do too, hopefully in the near future, Lord willing. But just wanted to go over the chariots, and also I'm not going to go over these, but you can look at these on your free time. Read Ezekiel 1 through 5 on to 25. Revelations 1 and 7, and then Psalms 68 and 17. Those are great verses regarding the chariots, and there are many, many more to put emphasis on it. So hope you guys were edified with this brief little precept lesson. Much love to the brothers who are pushing this truth, and let's continue to pray and pray for our brothers and sisters, and praying soon that the Lord will come and deliver us in those chariots for doing the work and for believing, and he'll put an end to all this madness. So I just want to say much love and shalom.